Hi, is this really worth the hype? This is the X100V by Fuji. Obviously takes over from the X100F. I didn't have the X100F. I did think about it, but I live in a sort of a climate that's got a lot more harsh weather, and with it not being weather sealed or anything like that, it sort of kind of ruled it out. Did have the XT3, but I didn't want really an interchangeable lens system. I already have one with my Sony that I use for landscape work, and really I thought, I'm just doubling up here. So as soon as the X100V was announced, I thought, right, this is the time to go out. I've owned the camera since late March. It's now late August, so I've had a good few months of testing with it, of using it. So hopefully I can give you some feedback if you're looking to buy the camera. Obviously, in the UK, it's over £1,200. You can buy it second hand already on some sites for about 1,100. You've got the X100F, which is obviously quite a few £100 less. Maybe you've got an X100F and you're thinking of changing, or maybe you just fancy having a go with this. Whatever that is, hopefully I'll be able to help you. It's got the same 26 megapixel sensor that the X Pro 3 and the XT4 have. So when you think about it, its camera has the sensor that's in the top of the range X series, so that's pretty good. Do you notice the difference between that and the 24 megapixel that it probably did have? I doubt it. But it's always nice when cropping in, and let's face it, we're not Cartier-Bresson here probably, we do crop. I crop. It's what I like to do if I see a shot, and I have to say so far, my personal experience is it's pretty good cropping in. The clarity, the quality, it's there. They've changed the lens. It's now I know, because I actually didn't use the 100F. I know the 100F, they complained at F2 it could be it didn't quite have the sort of the clarity. I have to say at F2 or all the way up to F16, it's pretty good. It's clear, it's sharp, it's a very good lens. Whatever they've done to it, keep doing it, Fuji, because it is seriously good. It's got an internal ND filter, which I used the first time out, which you'll see, and it did a very good job. It really did. It's got 160 ISO base now compared to what it had at 200 on the X100F. It's got 425 points detection points for autofocus. 100F had fewer than that. I have to say, from what I've seen so far and what I've used so far over the months, whether it's face, whether it's an object, what have you, the autofocus on this is excellent. It is truly good. It doesn't make many mistakes, which leads into it has better tracking accuracy. It certainly does. I can definitely account for that. The tilting screen, here we go. Some people loathe it, some people love it. Obviously that's all it can do, but if you're like me and you're out on the streets, to be able to just to be looking down like that, it does make a difference. People don't know quite what you're doing, so they're not so intimidated. I found that really good. For landscapes, again, I like it. I can get down lower and I can look at it. I wear glasses, as you can see, and I need that extra thing, that extra sort of amount of articulation. So that, I have to say, is a step forward. I do shoot with actually a Ricoh GR3, and without the fixed lens, it isn't. It's awkward. You can get around it, but to have it makes a difference. The EVF is excellent, 3.69 million dot resolution. You can go to OVF if you're wanting sort of the manual idea, the purest idea. That's fine. I tend not to shoot with that, I'll be honest. I am from the old 35mm era. It's your choice. But the great thing is, with the flick of this switch, you do have a choice. You don't have to just think it's digital only. You can go to just the optical viewfinder, which is great. But switch on the optical viewfinder, what are you missing out on? Fuji's excellent film simulations. There's loads to choose from. Classic Chrome's a good one, but there are others as well that I'd recommend. But one of the things you can do are recipes. With recipes, you can make your own film simulation. You might say, oh, it's just gimmicky. It's kind of not, actually. I've made my own black and white the way I want it. And I have to say, I love it. I love having that. If you want to, as I do, I subscribe to a thing called Fuji, I'm going to get this right, X Weekly. It's an online magazine. They send me emails and they often have different recipes in it. And they're trying to sort of color match old film stock. There's a 28mm lens. It's 1.5 crop factor, so therefore it's 35mm. I love 35mm. My street photography is 35mm. In terms of landscape work, yeah, some people say I prefer wider, but for what I use it for going out yesterday and a few days ago, it just didn't let me down. The results were brilliant. I loved the film simulations, of the colors, and the dynamic range. It coped with it incredibly well. With the ND filter as well, makes it even better. Is the camera faultless? No. If you go and buy the camera, it is weather sealed. The body is. The lens isn't. You have to buy an adapter and a filter for it. My tip is, don't buy the Fuji filter. It costs £50 here in the UK, and I've looked at this filter and I've looked at it. I can't see any difference between that and a normal UV filter. Save yourself the money, get yourself a UV filter, buy the adapter by all means, because it'll fit on. Have a feeling though, if you've already got a 100F and you've got an adapter for that, it might work with that anyway. All it needs is this filter on the front to make it completely weather sealed, which is one of the big things for me, to be completely weather sealed. I know it's got a bad reputation for overheating with video. I used it for small clips, and I think that's probably maybe what it's more for. It's more stills camera. If you want video camera, buy something else. However, it does have 4K. As I mentioned before, it's got F-log, and it worked yesterday. Got some film that I'm going to show you, put in my pictures as well, and I'll leave it up to you to comment down below, see what you here we are. End of the film, end of the review. I've obviously been very enthusiastic about this. I kind of gave the game away, didn't I? What was the point in the question? Is the hype worth it? Yeah, the hype's worth it.